Falana's 20-year jail warning to governors. Negotiating is a crime. Femi Falana issues a brutal warning to the federal government and governors. Pay ransom, go to jail. So, we have a massive legal bomb dropped by human rights lawyer Femi Falana today. Speaking directly, well, I think this was actually over the weekend, speaking directly on the heels of General Abubakar's um, uh, anyway, there's rumors of state-backed negotiations. Falana has issued a blistering public warning to the federal government and state governors. He made it crystal clear that under Section 14 of the Terrorism Prevention Act, negotiating with or paying ransoms to terrorists attracts a mandatory 20-year jail term. Falana argued that by continuously begging, treating bandits with kid gloves, and giving concessions, the political class is actively funding the ammunition used to kill our security forces. Sharp Edge Nation. This is a direct challenge to the governors who secretly and openly negotiate peace deals with bandits in the forest. Will Falana's heavy legal reminder force our leaders to stop funding criminality, or will they continue to break the law in secret just to secure temporary peace? Ladies and gentlemen, High Chief Oladimeji Abitogun, your sharp edge, sir.
Thank you, Ola. I cannot agree any less with the learned Sikh, Shifemi Falano. And by the way, when you refer to erudite lawyers and accomplished legal luminaries like Shifemi Falana as learned Sikh, it simply means because we must be able to communicate in a way that ordinary folks will understand what we are saying. Being a learned Sikh means is a senior advocate of Nigeria. That is, he has distinguished himself and has been so honored and so pronounced by the body of benchers and everybody that is involved in the honoring senior lawyers in Nigeria. Now, he's reminding us of that constitutional lacuna, that provision or that burden that is in the Constitution that says that nobody is allowed to negotiate with terrorists and ransom payment or things like that, dropping ransom. It's illegal and will attract 20 years jail term. But sometimes I wonder if this our distinguished man of law does not engage in what would be termed as academic exercise in law, because this that really contradicts our the reality of living in Nigeria today. And I do not say this with with levity. I'm not casualizing the seriousness of what we have at hand. But the truth of the matter is that when people kidnap beloved Nigerian compatriots, child, women, men, and with an agenda to make sure that everybody is rendered defenseless, what options do we have? Personally, my conviction is that nobody should pay ransom, but it's better imagined, and it's something that is easy to say when you are not in that kind of pickle, when you are not when you are not in that situation. Take for instance a corps member that a female corps member that was kidnapped and allegedly begged and was raped. I mean, in a very dehumanizing way, and they wanted the father to come and drop ransom. She got on the phone with the father, don't bring any ransom, because even if you pay, and she said if she was released, she still would not live like a normal human being because of the way she'd been violated over and over while being held by these bandits. That the father should keep the money that he had struggled to raise. And the evil people, these people that are driven by ill-digested religious and political ideologies, decided to put the bullet to the lady's head. How about the story of a woman that was carrying a pregnancy of twins, that gave birth to this set of twins, and then the twins were fed to dogs by these satanic elements, calling themselves religious warriors. Examples are banned. So, in order for these tragedies to be mitigated, if people are dropping ransom, I don't know about governors, because you also see governors actively trying to install people that have been involved in all kinds of non-state violence against the community, against officials of government. You see, like I mentioned last week, in the case of Governor Ayedatiwa from Ondo State, who is actively preparing to install somebody that is known to be a violent character, somebody that has benefited from proceeds of ransom in a place like Ayedatiwa, planning to make him king. And DSS is not preparing intelligence to let this man know that that is a dangerous trend. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not saying anything about this. And people say, as a kingmaker, who should be midwifing the process? Why am I speaking up? Because nobody is speaking up. I will speak up, and I'm not that kind of kingmaker. Being made a chief or being made a king is to guide people. Then that in itself is absurd and ridiculous. Everybody must be able to speak up when you see something that will hurt the system. And that is because we are not speaking up. That is why people are doing all these things, and governors are dropping ransom, and nobody is calling the shots. Thank God, Femi Falana is calling the shots. But it's a difficult situation. It's a difficult thing to imagine, to handle. Because first and foremost, the effort, the initiative is to make sure that everybody that is being held captive is it's let go without any form of harm, without being killed. I think this is why these governors do some of these things. But there must be wider consultation. Why is this thing so intractable? And I do not believe that it is intractable, but because you have the crisis merchants, people who benefit from the flow of blood, from bloodletting, blood shedding, there won't be any excitement about it. The military industrial complex in itself in Nigeria also is not transparent, such that you will see through and through that these people actually mean what they say. For example, the former military spokesperson in Nigeria, a major general that was kidnapped, died in the custody of these kidnappers. And then the breaking news that came in all before we got on air was that the wife of this general, who hitherto had been held, even after the husband had been unalive, has been murdered. The wife has just been rescued by soldiers and officers of maybe 7th Brigade or something like that. But that woman, before being rescued, the widow of the late Major General, sustained gunshots from the fleeing terrorists, because the words, the description, bandits, kidnappers, and all that, is really whittling down the seriousness of the situation that Nigeria is in. Nigeria is at war. Oh ye, hear this. Nigeria is at war. And whatever gimmick, whatever strategy, whatever tactics must be used to tackle these individuals, they are not intractable. Like I've always said, I cannot be highlighting everything I know on how to contain this kind of crisis. But if anybody is reaching out to us, or they want to be educated on the little knowledge we have about doing this. And do not say that, oh, it's never been a soldier. How did you know? You study, you acquire knowledge. And the day you stop doing that, you must see yourself as toast, as being a dead person. So while still alive, we will continue to understudy the way developed nations, the way free nations did it, how they earned their freedom. And Nigeria must be free. And that freedom is not always about dropping ransom at every beck and call by governors like Femi Falana wants us to understand. Yes, the de-radicalization of a thing that we say, before you even target the people who are purveyors of this evil, you must be able to win their mind. You know that in the battle for persons recruiting the human mind, first understand who you are. You are torn between Arabism, Islam, what's it called? Westernization and Christianity and what have you. Who are you as an African? Have you discovered yourself? Man, you must first know thyself. That's what the ancient philosophers taught us. Who are you as an African? Why must I die because of the ideology of one person or the other? Because after all, whether you live in the Middle East today or is in the Western country, you are not fully accepted. So if these people are using their own ideologies and philosophies to push you into self-annihilation, why can't you take a pause and locate your interest in the middle of all this? Instead of that rush first to drop ransom. So this call directly is to National Orientation Agency in Nigeria, NOAA, the place they call the culture, what's it called? A place for cultural education or what have you. And like we used to have on our syllabus curriculum in those days concerning civics, social studies, and what have you, without poisoning the mind of people through murderous nationalism, can we really embrace our humanity? The radicalization must be for everybody. I cannot hate on my Muslim brothers and sisters. I can't hate on my fellow Nigerian compatriots who are adherents of traditional religion. I can't hate on fellow Christians. I just want to love human beings without crossing any sensitive cultural boundaries. And that does not mean that when I see a European visiting Nigeria that I must frown my face. That does not mean that I should not be welcoming to the Arab when they come around, but I must also know that these people, in their past dealings with us, have not been completely honest. So let us stand as a people and defend our humanity and our land of birth. That's what I'm saying. So I agree totally with Femi Falana that paying ransom should not be the first thing on the plate. There are different options. And then equipping the military properly. Now that generals have been targeted, the wife being shot, and children being held in captive in Ogbomoso, and the forest in Oyo State, and all over the Southwest and all over Nigeria. What do? Are we considering the issue of self-defense, studying and understanding over and over the enemies that are attacking us and how we can give them a chase, and then making sure that we look beyond what government is saying? You cannot be carrying shakabula, then gun or musket and think that you can really secure victory against invading forces. If you are not going to have that weapon that matches what they carry, you must have superior firepower as well. And it's not all the time that you must listen to what the government is saying, because madness must first be used to cure madness before the system can stabilize. It would also be criminal to be law-abiding where the government and people that they are protecting as terrorists, where they have become so lawless. I think I would recommend for our people further reading in liberation education, liberation paths, in order for Nigerians to secure true freedom. Thank you very much, Ola.
Anyway, they laughing. Is that what you said?
That's right. That is that is right. What's the name of that guy? Taye Currency in Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria.
I don't know.
We're laughing. I can dance. But we can, yeah.
Wow.
So that's where to go. That's
Ladies
where to go.
and gentlemen, join the conversation. Join the conversation in the comment section. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this conversations. But yes, we have some other stuff, and then we'll be right back.